All right, I hope everyone's had a moment to take a scan of the QR code on your screen. And if you need to put in the chat that you didn't have an opportunity, please just let us know and we can come back to that. But thank you. I'll continue now. So my name is Todd Poyer, and as you can see on the description there, I work here in the care management organization with Visiting Nurse Service of New York as a nurse manager, overseeing a variety of disciplines, including social work, nursing, and rehab clinicians who are care managers and reach out to our members who are currently experiencing a home care episode. And we work with them to facilitate all the needs that they could have to make sure their outcomes are as best as can be. It's a wonderful opportunity to work with such an illustrious team, and of course with Visiting Nurse Service of New York. And then on my downtime, I'm the president of the St. Vincent de Paul Society Conference at a church here in Manhattan. And one of those services that are involved with that background is working with those who are in need and who are looking for assistance with food and many other areas that we try to assist with, and food being really relevant during these COVID times. And so for this reason, I've been asked to present to you today about some options that you can consider if you or someone that you know is experiencing any difficulties with supplementing their food or even accessing food. So we'll carry on. Food insecurities and community resources. Food insecurity. So what do we mean when we say food insecurity? It's defined basically as when there's a lack of access to enough food for every member of the household. And this lack of access to enough food can lead to affecting the health of those in the home. You may have some food, you may have a certain amount of a resource stipend that assists you with getting food, but there may be moments or times within the year when there's not just enough to feed everyone, to satisfy everyone. And so that's when there's determined to be a food insecurity. And according to Feeding America, due to the coronavirus, 42 million people may experience food insecurity throughout 2021. So you might ask, what can cause food insecurity? This can be caused by many factors. It isn't always related to being unemployed. That can certainly be a cause, but it's not necessarily the only cause, because people can be employed but under earning. As we know, a lot of times the minimum wage just isn't enough of a wage to cover all the costs that we involve in our daily living. So although employed, they may be under earning and not being able to cover all of the bills and necessities such as food as people have. So many people in America who are working and do not qualify for assistance just have a difficulty in making ends meet. And one area, as I said, can be buying food, especially healthy food, fresh produce, etc. So there are also situations when individuals are really at or below the poverty level without having employment, and they don't have the resources for food, or they have resources, but they're very limited. Currently, we're experiencing a number of resource services being cut or diminished. And it's really unbelievable, especially during these times, that such is happening. And so again, in response to that, organizations such as my own and what I'm about to show you can be a resource for consideration when experiencing food insecurity. So if you or someone or you know is experiencing challenges in accessing enough food, please considering the following resources. Now, what we're going to go over today are a few. There are multiple resources out there. It's just finding them, and how you may find them could be through the internet. You can go to libraries. You can go to churches. This is a way to discover how to find the resources. Also, what I'm going to show you today are going to be a few examples of what you can use to discover where food access may be in your areas. First one is the New York City Food Policy Center. Now, this is the website nycfoodpolicy.org. It's basically run by Hunter College here in New York City in Manhattan, and it's a really robust website that offers a wide variety of opportunities and resources to consider and where you can go to get the food. So nycfoodpolicy.org is the website to use and to go to, and then just search throughout the website to find where you can find a listing of various types of food. Oftentimes you might find it's a grab and go lunch, or it could be a food pantry that are handing out groceries. It could be a hot lunch. It's a variety of things offered by a variety of organizations that you can locate in this website. And for that, so speaking to that example, if you link on the locations below, you can find in that area where you can get information on the organizations that are offering options. And then there at the very end, it might be a little difficult to see here on the screen, at the very end of the line, it says in Spanish. It seems to be that the Spanish language, oh, there is some, it looks like possibly Chinese at the very bottom. If it's offered in another language, it will be indicated there in the link. And you can select that link that's near you based on the borough, and then you just go in and you explore the link as it takes you to the location of your choice. I'm just going to pop back one quick second for the nycfoodpolicy.org. So that's the website, and that's what you can refer to. And again, if you have our QR code at the beginning of the presentation today, on our website, the community website, you will be able to find this information again. And we'll also put these resources listed in the chat section as well. Now, I'm going to spend a little more time here on the Plentiful app. Plentifulapp.com. This is an app that I'm very familiar with because we use this in my organization for a variety of things. For me and the organization specifically, it helps with our list of people who are coming to our pantry, and it's a very confidential list. This app is not shared with, the information shared is not shared with anybody. It's just a matter of the food pantries having an idea of how many people may be attending, how many people they're reaching out to. So for example, my organization reaches out to approximately 250 people, and we announce to them that we're having our pantry. We give them the details. We'll let them know what we're offering for the particular pantry that we're having. So for example, what types of fresh produce we might be offering, or if we're offering meats or vegetables, fresh vegetables that we might be putting out that particular offering day. So it's the plentifulapp.com. Now that is for the perspective of the food pantry itself, but this is geared for individuals and families to download and to use. You can access it on a computer. You get from any, based on any computer that has access to the internet, such as at the library, or if you have your phone, you can access it on the phone. And then you can search for areas that have food pantries for you to attend. So a little bit about the Plentiful app. As I indicated earlier, they reference 40 million, said 42 million people are in need for food resources. And Plentiful app allows you opportunity to explore where is offering a food pantry, and then also at times and at certain locations, they may even put in a reservation system so you're not having to wait on a line. You can see both instances across the board here with the Plentiful app. Some organizations are only able to offer an online situation where you have to wait online, so to speak, to receive the groceries, or they do have the opportunity for you to schedule an appointment so that you don't have to wait online and can show up for your set appointment. It's a very interactive app, and it's very supported by founding members, including City Harvest, United Way, New York Human Resources Administration, and the New York City Mayor's Office for Food Policy, as well as the New York State Health Department. It's a very well supported organization, the Plentiful app folks who created this. And I can tell you, I've been using it now for about 3 to 4 years, and it's only gotten better. It's gotten much more solid in its outreach. It doesn't ever break down, and I'll knock on wood to continue that history there, that it's not breaking down at all. And again, it's been an excellent way for us to communicate to our guests who join the food pantry, but also for our guests to have opportunity to search for resources in their area. And this was really helpful, this app, during COVID, because a lot of pantries closed down. So this was helpful to get the information, the most up-to-date information, because the Plentiful app folks are constantly doing that and constantly seeking updates from the organizations that they partner with to be part of the app. So another thing I love about the app is that it offers a variety of languages. As you can see on the screen, it might be a little small, but a variety of languages are offered. So when we're putting in the information about an individual who's attending, and perhaps they are Spanish speaking, or we do a very basic Chinese language, because the dialects can be extensive. So they have a basic Chinese language that is offered. You select the language preferred, and then any texting that's done is sent out in that language. Now, it is one directional. It will come from the Plentiful app to the individual who has the app on their phone. It will be sent out, and then the organization usually includes their phone number to either reach back out to them via text, or a phone number to call and speak to somebody, or to leave a message. But the app itself is focused on specifying the preferred language to select, so that you can understand any information that's being communicated to the individual. It's very simple. It just asking for an email address or a mobile phone number to get the updates for, and to be able to access the information. Again, this information is not shared with any type of agency. It's all completely confidential. The only reason why they're looking at this is for statistical purposes, to help inform the pantries out there, perhaps what the demand is, where the need is most. Like I said, fresh produce is very much in demand, as well as just having ability to access these locations for food resources. So it's really just about that communication piece and the statistics piece for the information they're seeking when you are registering with the app: an email or a mobile phone number. And the mobile phone number is primarily for the opportunity to have the texting back and forth. If you have a landline, it would be best to use your email address for the updates. But just to go back and say, if you do have a landline, it doesn't mean you can't register. You can very much go ahead and you can still access the app. It's just that communication piece is particularly done via texting or with email. So here, like I said, why Plentiful? Use any phone. Again, landline is difficult, but it's using the any phone type, meaning an Android phone or an Apple phone. You can, as long as you can get the app, and then you can download that information to your phone, find a pantry, search by location or service times or what they're being offered at the pantry. And then, as I said earlier, manage reservations so that you're not having to stand online, especially like if the weather's not so great. You can look to see pantries that are offering a reservation system. But I do want to reiterate the fact that a lot of pantries don't have such a system in place, so it may result in an online process, waiting online. However, from what I've experienced and what I've seen in the industry, they go relatively quickly. They seem to have these processes down very well of interacting with each other and being able to provide the groceries in a very timely manner. And then, like we said, get food faster by using the reservation aspect. But again, like I said, the pantries are doing pretty well with not keeping people waiting online for too long periods of time. So yes, you use Plentiful then by texting. You can text to the specific pantry that you'd like to be placing a reservation for, or to be signing up with for any updates on their distributions. So you can send that using the text via your phone, and getting the app, as I mentioned on the other screen, downloading that app to your phone to be able to interact in a more robust way. And as I said, there are so many listings of pantries all over in the boroughs. It's the 5 boroughs here in New York City that the focus is on. Now, of course, certain boroughs may have more pantries available. And again, though, what you at least have is the opportunity to see if they are up and running. But I do advise and recommend that even though it may be reflected in the app that the pantry is open and operating, to still, if there's a number there, to call, or an email there to call and confirm. Because although the intention is there to really remain open, certain circumstances may arise where pantries or organizations have to pause their pantry or close it for a myriad of reasons. But many of them remain open to this day. So I just encourage you to give a call or check in before going, or a text, and once you're signed up with the app, just to confirm that the pantries are open and are fully functioning as reflected in the application. Now, that was Plentiful app. Another resource here is our access.newyorkcity.nyc.gov, access.nyc.gov. And here, this is the website here that you can go to. And as you'll see, there's a little hyperlinks in there. So Get Food NYC is a map that offers a number of community kitchens and food pantries that you can refer to, again, based on zip code and location. You can click there. There's a hotline, a food hotline that I wanted you all to be aware of, 866-888-8777, or as many of us all know, 311. Many times I've heard from our guests that especially when we're not open, we do our pantry one time a month due to our limitations in terms of funding and availability. That's what our schedule is. But many of our guests who have come have called 311 to find out where they can find additional food supplementation. And usually the operator on the 311 call will help direct them based on the location they are in. Or if they say that they give them another zip code that they'd like information on, they'll assist with that. But that's another very quick and easy way to access information about a food resource, 311, or access.newyorkcity.gov. So let me just see, let's go here, and there we go. So just as we're saying here on that website, there's also another opportunity to assess if you're able to be considered for the Supplementation Nutrition Assistance Program, the SNAP program, formerly known as food stamps. There's a way to access NYC to find out if you're eligible and to what that process entails. And so you can use this website as well to investigate that if that's another possibility for you to bring into your realm for resources to use and to consider. So there's that process as well. And then just below, more ways to get help with the program: Get Food New York City website, the 866 number, 311 Get Food New York City, and also the SNAP benefits as listed above. So I've covered 3 initial resources for you to consider in your review of if you need resources for supplementation of food, or if someone you know is in need of supplementing their food resource. These are 3 areas that you can consider for resources. Again, I'm partial to the Plentiful app because it's really robust. It's easy to use from the phone. It's very user-friendly. But the other 2 websites that I did speak about are very comprehensive, and they're city and state driven. And so they too are a very resourceful guide to refer to. So I'm happy at this point to open it up for any questions that may be either in the chat, if you'd like to put them in the chat, or I think that's how we'll process. Is that right, Melissa and or Veronica?
Correct.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I don't know if we're seeing anything come in through the chat at the moment.
So there was a question asking, Todd, if you could share your title again.
Oh, sure. My title, apologies, it is I'm a specialized manager, a nurse manager of specialized programs and products within the Care 360 Solution Department at Visiting Nurse Service of New York.
Thank you, Todd. And Kimberly had shared that, one of the things that she's encountered is like staff, employees who are on leave are sometimes unable to make their regular bills due to drop in income and ask for help. So she just commented that these are some great resources that you shared. And in the follow-up email that will come, just thanking you for your participation, the resources are also included in there. So you can have access, and I have dropped them in the chat. But please feel free. There's another question coming in.
Yes, please.
So there's a question asking, do you know of any resources that you have shared that can help individuals who may need infant formula or baby food?
Sure. So you can look on that with the, I don't know if I can go back here. Let's go, the accessnewyorkcity.gov. You can always call the 311 for the same type of question, and they will likely have some resources for you. Again, churches oftentimes are linked with either parents who are looking to be participatory with individuals who are in need of such needs, such as the formula, clothing, etc. for infants. You can look at that. And I'm just going to go back to our initial, the New York City Food Policy.org. If you look there as well, you see there are children featured there. So they will also have infant opportunities there, or infant information for you to seek out. So again, New York City Food Policy 311, as well as churches, can be a very good opportunity for you to research. And perhaps in your area, shout out for our St. Vincent de Paul Society organization, St. Vincent de Paul Society, SVDP, S like Sam, V like Victor, D like David, P like Paul Society. You can look, there are a number of we call them conferences in New York City throughout 3 particular boroughs, through Manhattan, Staten Island, and the Bronx. And if you do a little search on Google for SVDP or St. Vincent de Paul Society in New York City, you may also connect with a conference that also could help you to find resources for infant formula, infant clothing, etc. I hope that helped. Other questions, please.
Yeah. There was just a comment just saying thank you for your presentation, that it was excellent. Again, please feel free to share any comments, any questions you have. This recording of the presentation will be available on our Vimeo showcase, which actually has all of our past community presentations. I will actually drop the link for that in a few minutes into the chat, but just know that you can always go back there to watch this presentation, share it with others, or watch some of our prior presentations. So just give me a second before we end or wrap anything up, wrap this presentation up, to share that link with you. Todd, if there's anything else you want to share while I look for that link, please
Yes.
feel free.
Thank you. I just want to say to everybody that it's hard to seek and ask for help, but don't let that hinder you. I'm a nurse, right? So I've always said to patients, there could be any minute that I might be on in the bed as opposed to working on the other side of the bed assisting. So there's no, we don't know what life may bring us, and we are working at our hardest, doing our hardest that we can every day, and that there's no shame in asking or reaching out for help. That's, what you should do. I think New York City is robust with a lot of resources. I think we could do an even better job at trying to get that information out there, but I hope a few of these resources that I've listed here today will start your process. And don't be ashamed. Everybody needs help, and so you should just go for it. And hopefully, you'll find the resources you need and to supplement. And hopefully, COVID will come to an end soon, and we'll kind of get through this challenge. And just we'll do our best. That's all we can do. And again, thank you so much for your time and for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. And I have dropped the link for the VNSNY Vimeo Showcase of Community Presentations. And just to reiterate, thank you again for your time, for joining us today. If you are interested in having a presentation on any of the topics that we offer, made to your community group, to your constituents, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will be able, you can reach out to myself, Melissa Henry, at vnsny.org. That is melissa.henry, or you can reach out to Veronica Torres, and same veronica.torres at vnsny.org, and we can share the information with you for the available topics. Or you can also check out the Community Collaborations webpage. We have the list of upcoming events, and we also have different presentation topics that are available for our staff. Our staff are the subject matter experts who can make the presentation to the community. We are doing things on a virtual platform as of right now, due to the fact that we are still observing some of the social distance protocols. But please feel free to reach out to us. We are always here. And I see we had one other, and Deanna, thank you for sharing your information about the CMH Wellness Program. I'm going to also drop that into the chat, and I will add it as one of the resources in the email confirmation that will be sent out to everyone who attended. So again, thank you everyone for your time, and we look forward to having you join us for another presentation. Goodbye.